Welcome to Classified Capsule, where we uncover the untold stories of history's most notorious criminals. Today we delve into the life of Al Capone, one of America's most infamous gangsters. Let's get started. Alphonse Gabriel Capone, better known as Al Capone, was born on January 17, 1899, in Brooklyn, New York. Growing up in the rough neighborhoods of New York City, Capone's early life was marked by poverty and crime. His parents, Gabriel and Teresa Capone, were Italian immigrants who sought a better life in America but struggled to make ends meet. Al Capone, often referred to by his nickname Scarface, would go on to become a symbol of organized crime during the Prohibition era, transforming himself from a street thug into one of the most powerful crime bosses in American history. Capone's criminal career began in his youth when he joined a local street gang. His early involvement in petty crimes such as robbery and assault quickly elevated him to more serious criminal activities. By his early 20s, Capone was working for the 5 Points Gang, a notorious criminal organization led by Johnny Torrio. Under Torrio's mentorship, Capone honed his skills in the criminal underworld, eventually becoming Torrio's trusted enforcer and right-hand man. The turning point in Capone's career came with the onset of Prohibition in 1920. The 18th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution had banned the production, sale, and transportation of alcoholic beverages, creating a lucrative opportunity for organized crime syndicates to step in and supply the black market. Capone, seizing the chance, expanded his criminal empire into bootlegging, the illegal production and distribution of alcohol. His operations soon extended across Chicago, where he established a network of speakeasies or illegal bars, and bribed law enforcement and politicians to turn a blind eye to his activities. Capone's rise to power was marked by violence and intimidation. His control over Chicago's criminal underworld was maintained through a combination of ruthless tactics and strategic alliances. One of the most infamous events associated with Capone's reign was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre of 1929. On February 14th, 7 members of the rival North Side Gang were brutally murdered in a garage on Chicago's North Side. Though Capone was never officially charged with the massacre, it was widely believed to be a power play designed to eliminate competition and consolidate his control over the city's illegal activities. Despite his notoriety, Capone was not invincible. Law enforcement agencies, spearheaded by the FBI and other federal authorities, launched a relentless campaign to bring him to justice. While Capone was adept at evading charges related to his criminal enterprises, his downfall came through a less glamorous route tax evasion. In 1931, Capone was convicted of multiple counts of income tax evasion and sentenced to 11 years in federal prison. This conviction marked a significant victory for federal authorities, as it demonstrated that even the most powerful crime bosses were not above the law. The final days of Al Capone: his downfall, death, and legacy. Alphonse Al Capone, the infamous gangster who dominated Chicago's criminal underworld during the Prohibition era, met his end far from the glare of his former power. His final years were marked by a dramatic fall from grace, health decline, and eventual death. The impact of Capone's life and death reverberated through American history, influencing law enforcement strategies and public perceptions of organized crime. Capone's imprisonment and health decline. Al Capone's criminal empire began to unravel with his conviction in 1931 for income tax evasion. This conviction, secured by relentless federal prosecution, marked a turning point in the fight against organized crime. Capone was sentenced to 11 years in federal prison, beginning his incarceration at the Atlanta Penitentiary. While Capone's imprisonment was a significant setback, it was his health that ultimately played a crucial role in his downfall. Incarceration at Atlanta proved challenging for Capone. His health began to deteriorate rapidly, and he was transferred to the infamous Alcatraz Island prison in 1934. Alcatraz, known for housing the most dangerous and high-profile criminals, was the final stage of Capone's imprisonment. Capone's health problems were exacerbated by his syphilis, a condition he had contracted years earlier. By the time he was imprisoned at Alcatraz, the disease had advanced to the point where it severely impacted his cognitive abilities and overall well-being. He suffered from increasing bouts of confusion and memory loss, which were symptoms of neurosyphilis. During his time on Alcatraz, Capone's mental state deteriorated further. The isolation and rigorous conditions of the prison, combined with his advancing illness, took a toll on him. Despite receiving medical treatment, Capone's condition continued to worsen, leaving him a shadow of his former self. In 1939, after serving about 7.5 years of his sentence, Capone was released from prison due to his declining health. He was transferred to the Federal Correctional Institution in Atlanta for a short period before being sent to his estate in Palm Island, Florida. Capone's release was a result of his deteriorating health, which rendered him incapable of managing his criminal enterprises or facing the rigors of continued imprisonment. Upon his release, Capone retired to his estate, where he lived in relative seclusion. His once mighty criminal empire had long since collapsed, and he was no longer the feared figure of the Roaring Twenties. The years of imprisonment and disease had left him physically and mentally weakened. Capone spent his remaining days in the care of his family, struggling with the effects of his illness. Al Capone died on January 25, 1947, at the age of 48. His death was attributed to a stroke and complications from syphilis, which had ravaged his health over the years. Capone's passing marked the end of an era, closing the chapter on one of America's most notorious criminals. The impact of Capone's death extended beyond the immediate loss of a criminal figure. His life and downfall had significant implications for law enforcement and public perceptions of organized crime. Capone's criminal career highlighted the need for more effective measures to combat organized crime, leading to changes in law enforcement practices and legal strategies. Impact on law enforcement and legal system. Capone's conviction for tax evasion marked a turning point in the fight against organized crime. It demonstrated that even the most powerful criminals could be brought to justice through financial and legal avenues rather than solely through traditional criminal charges. This approach influenced future strategies in dealing with organized crime and tax evasion cases. The attention Capone's case received also led to increased federal efforts to combat organized crime. Agencies like the FBI, under the leadership of J. Edgar Hoover, intensified their focus on investigating and prosecuting organized crime figures. Capone's case became a precedent for future investigations and prosecutions of high-profile criminals. Legacy and cultural impact. Al Capone's legacy is complex and multifaceted. He remains an iconic figure in American criminal history, symbolizing the allure and danger of the criminal underworld. His life story has been the subject of numerous books, films, and documentaries, contributing to his enduring place in popular culture. Capone's impact extends beyond his criminal activities. He became a symbol of the Roaring Twenties and the Prohibition era, representing the clash between law enforcement and organized crime. His rise and fall highlighted the challenges of combating illegal activities in a rapidly changing society and demonstrated the consequences of unchecked power and corruption. In popular culture, Capone is often depicted as a larger-than-life figure, embodying both the glamour and brutality of the gangster lifestyle. Films and television shows have portrayed him as a charismatic and ruthless leader, reinforcing his status as a cultural icon. Capone's story serves as a cautionary tale about the perils of crime and the fleeting nature of power and influence. Conclusion. Al Capone's journey from a street thug to a powerful crime boss and his eventual downfall and death illustrate the dramatic rise and fall of one of history's most infamous criminals. His life and impact continue to captivate the public imagination and serve as a reminder of the complexities of organized crime and law enforcement. Capone's legacy endures as a symbol of both the allure and the dangers of the criminal underworld, shaping our understanding of crime and punishment in American history. Thank you for watching this episode of Classified Capsule. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's dark past. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest content. See you next time.